פרופסור אוריאל רייכמן, נשיא המרכז הבינתחומי, שבתאי שביט, ראש מועצת המנהלים של המכון הבינלאומי ללוט"ר,
of ICT, Moshe Fadlon, Mayor of Herzliya, the host, Professor Boaz Gano, founder and executive director of ICT, distinguished guests, the institute that you have established and the international conference. The international conference that you are holding for the 19th time are a manifestation of international connections and also a milestone in counter-terrorism. The long list of distinguished people who speak here and participate certainly show how distinguished this conference is. Please accept my greetings. Distinguished guests, I am holding the photographs of Dvir Sorek and Rina Schnerb of blessed memory. He was 19 years old, she was 17 years old. They were both murdered just several weeks ago by Palestinian terrorists. And at the same time, I am holding the photographs of the many who were murdered 90 years ago in Hebron. Many of them had long beards, many of them were young men and also women, young children. These were a tranquil community that in 1929 on a Friday night were massacred by Arabs who were their neighbors for many years before then. I'm holding these pictures here to demonstrate just how brutal terrorism is, and I'm holding them so that we may never err to think that terrorism against us grows because of despair, as many try to convince us, either or in response to some kind of policy. And if we were only to do that rather than the other, it will cease. Well, no, that's not the truth. Arab terrorism against Israel did not begin when we began with the settlement in Judea and Samaria. It has nothing to do with the situation in Gaza or in the Judea and Samaria. It didn't start in 1967, not even in 1948. It is rooted deeply in many of the viewpoints of our Arab neighbors, Palestinians, Iranians, and their proxies like Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations. We have known it from the terror attacks against Dvir and Rina, and we see it. And we see it being cultivated, and we see how martyrs are being seen as holy people. And we see how UNRWA are refusing to acknowledge our right to be here. Our right to be here is a historical, moral right as the Jewish people to have a country of our own, and therefore we must be prepared and we must counter terrorism with determination and with a wide range of tools we have accessible to us. Recently, we are seeing a fingerprint of Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Quds force, and the Iranian axis in activity from Gaza, including use of equipment and tools we have not seen before. And he's also guiding terrorism through the Islamic Jihad organization subordinate to Iran. And this is drawing us closer to an overall campaign by Israel against the terrorist organizations in Gaza, which will take place under the terms and at the time that we will determine. And during that campaign, the top leadership of these terrorist organizations in Gaza will be taken out, and after then Israel will have to embark upon the separation plan, to separate between the civil and military activity vis-a-vis Gaza, and to take responsibility away from Israel by building an island in the sea together with the United States, Egypt, the Gulf states, just a few kilometers away from the coast of Gaza, with desalination plants and other plants that will preserve the security interests of the State of Israel in sea and being supervised by the loads being shipped there. And I have done everything I could to make this happen right after Protective Shield, and this did not happen, and we will have to go through this round in order to neutralize this terrorism that is being directed by Iran, but we will have to lead this campaign and to separate between the civil society, the civil people living there, and the military targets like Nasrallah and Hezbollah in the north, and with Syria and everything else. When we look at the map of worldwide terrorism, we cannot make, there's no mistake to be made. We see Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria having hubs of terrorism, and all the way to the Middle East and Africa, the Sub-Sahara. And what is the common denominator to all of these areas? Radical ideologies that promote violence and murder. And what else? One small democratic state, the only one in the region that is at the heart of the storm, the State of Israel. And anywhere we look, we are dealing with a threat of terrorism, a threat that we are determined, as we have proven, to thwart. And our attention has been dedicated to the 100,000 missiles Hezbollah have directed towards us, and the project of accuracy that they are trying to promote, financed by Iran, a true threat, an existential threat to Israel. And we also see at the same time Iran and the IRGC and Quds force, headed by Qasem Soleimani, trying to establish themselves in Syria and Iraq, and to place there terrorist infrastructures just like they did in Lebanon. In Judea and Samaria and Jerusalem, we must continue to thwart terrorism and all its kinds. And in Sinai we have World Jihad and ISIS, all trying to establish themselves, and we are also taking action there in a coordinated effort with Egypt that also has the same interests as we do. Let's add to that the cyber dimension, which is cross-border, the wide range of non-conventional terrorist threats, and you have a basket that is bigger than the challenge that we should have to face, but we are prepared for it. We are harnessing our partners to apply great pressure on Iran, and we are promoting political moves to weaken it, and it is indeed possible. This year, the UK and Argentina have joined the United States and Canada in acknowledging Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, and we continue to take action in this direction with our allies. Paraguay has also made a similar decision because of a meeting we had with them. In my last meeting with my UK counterpart, we talked about the UK following the US and also acknowledging the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, as a terrorist organization. Germany is also playing a key role in conveying messages to Lebanon because of its survival and threats over its survival because of the existence of Hezbollah. We asked Germany to announce Hezbollah as a terrorist organization and to apply sanctions to them, as did the UK. But my counterpart there said that they view Hezbollah's activity in Lebanon the way we do, and they certainly promised considering this, and I certainly hope that a similar decision will be made there as well accordingly. Another important subject is the attempt to abuse legal proceedings to minimize our ability to take military action against terrorist organizations. I spoke about that with my counterpart in Switzerland, because former Prime Minister Olmert was due to be arrested when visiting there because of his the part he played in Operation Cast Lead. And this problem has not yet been solved, but Israel will not live with such a threat that we do not have the right to self-determination. Our joint teams are working on it, and I hope and estimate that they will indeed find an appropriate solution. Even when it comes to UNRWA, the UNRWA, which in the past was seen as a sacred entity, we see some movement. When I sat with the Foreign Minister of Switzerland, Katz, I asked him to find an alternative for UNRWA because they are perpetuating fugitives. And I told him that he himself expressed himself in the past saying that UNRWA is a problem rather than a solution, which is a very significant thing to say. And so we decided that we will work together to find an alternative for the activities of the organization, while finding also a way of talking to the United States on this. And under my auspices, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Israel has been holding some discussions on the subject. UNRWA is a very specific case when it comes to refugees, and it's actually perpetuating the case of the refugees. That Israel is the only place where the refugees, which is 5.3 million people, are allowed to come back. And this problem of the refugees being perpetuated, it was one of the main incubators of terrorism against Israel. And now the U.S. administration and other countries, some of them who have also stopped the financial aid to UNRWA in New Zealand and other countries, we now have a historical opportunity to solve this problem by placing an emphasis on the humanitarian aspect and helping the refugees where they are living, but to stop the mandate of UNRWA. And this is a key aspect when we are trying to combat the roots of terrorism. When it comes to Iran, the policy of the State of Israel is clear. Only continuous pressure on Iran and its proxies can stop destruction later on. We must not lift sanctions from Iran and to go back. The Quds Force and Soleimani and the IRGC are all terrorist organizations. We must bring about an international consensus over that. We must broaden the circle of countries who define Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. We must ask UNIFIL to expose its infrastructure in Lebanon, which is against UN resolutions. And Lebanon should also claim responsibility over its land. When we collaborate with the moderate Arab countries, this is something that I find a top priority. When I held a series of meetings in such countries, in the UAE and Abu Dhabi, and with my counterpart in Bahrain, it seems to me that we have a historical opportunity to develop relations with them because of the Iranian threat, because of our shared view of these threats, because of our shared recognition that is trickling down into the idea that Israel can be an asset in counter-terrorism, but also not only in the security areas, but also in the economic areas where we can all work together. Just recently I signed an MOU with USAID, the International Aid Organization of the United States. It is a very unique agreement to work together in third world countries. We signed an agreement to work together in South Africa, in Latin America, even in the Caribbean. And I asked, and we added in our conversation, in our meeting that we had, and they were quite enthusiastic to do that. The U.S. directors were quite happy to be working together in the Gulf countries as well, because they don't need money perhaps, but they do need the information, the knowledge, the collaboration. We'd like to work in countries such as Jordan and the area. And I told him, as I am telling you, this is an opportunity to really do some groundbreaking collaboration and to see the positive axis in the region. The State of Israel serves as a unique hub, as a unique crossroads between the knowledge accumulated. Our collaboration, international cooperation emphasizes this. Just a few months ago, we had the Counter-Terrorism Undersecretary Vladimir Soronko here in Israel. It is also an honor to have Ms. Konix here with us, being the head of the CTED, because it is the second year you have been here with us, and we see that as something very important. Our cooperation with CTED and with other entities that are counterterrorism entities is very important to us. I will not go on to talk about all the collaborations and cooperations in counterterrorism we have, but I would like to take this opportunity to thank our American colleagues. We cannot overrate how much they do for us and how much their collaboration in counterterrorism means to us as in other areas. Distinguished guests, against terrorism we cannot but fight with all our might. We must have all the intelligence tools with us. We must develop special technologies, set up forces and use them if need be. We need to have an international community that is very much aimed at countering terrorism, and therefore there is so much to collaborate upon. Terrorism is a threat that is not only a threat to individuals, but is actually a threat to our democracy, to our democratic values. It is the heart of Western modern civilization that is being targeted. At the same time, we must not forget the strength of incitement and to making the fire stronger. Many of the recent terrorist attacks have actually been incited and supported by people such as the Mufti Jamil Husseini. And as if nothing has changed in all these years, we still feel now the incitement and everything that we see. There is, seeing the Palestinian terrorists as holy people, as people who need to be incentivized, whose families need to be compensated, who need to be given salaries. Even the Palestinian Authority, who's supposed to be the more moderate partner in our battle against terrorism, and also in insisting to continue with UNRWA and this myth of the right of return, which continues to sort of feed the fire of not acknowledging the State of Israel as a Jewish state. And until a deep change in this mentality come about, and I hope it will, we have no other alternative but to counter them and to collaborate with our allies in the world. And that is why it is so important that you continue to talk as you will in this conference. We had a front against ISIS, which has been defeated, which has been, which we have won, but we see some changes. We see the Shiite revolution that Iran is promoting in every way at the expense of Iranian citizens, and they're continuing to push for it. We have Al-Qaeda, we have all of these other terrorist hubs. There is a lot we can do together, we can collaborate on, and the international community must be strong. We cannot justify, we cannot accept any form of terrorism. Solutions should be on the political front, but we should counter terrorism and prevent it. I hope you have a very interesting day and an interesting conference, and keep up the good work. Thank you very much.